All right, and welcome back to the Saturday Club podcast. I'm Jerry Drummond. Alongside me is my cousin and fellow co-host Chris Carpenter. Chris, loaded weekend in college football. Um, Tough weekend for our alma mater. But what were your takeaways from a pretty fun weekend?
Yeah, it was fun. Both were boots on the ground last weekend, so we're a little tied up. Didn't get to experience the full slate in entirety until after the fact, but pretty good games across the board. Unfortunate for the game that I was at. I was at the Clemson Syracuse game. Season ticket holder, possibly having some regrets at this point in my life. However, good weekend of college football. Some really good matchups. Got some answers that we were looking for, especially prior to the season starting. But yeah, what were your thoughts?
Um, yeah, like you said, outside of looks like we are live on YouTube. This is cool. All right, let's see. We have one person viewing, so that's cool. Anyway, I have the live chat here. If anyone wants to sit in the comments, go off. But outside of Clemson losing, I thought it was a really fun weekend. We learned a lot about teams, Clemson included. But how does it feel being a season ticket holder? The two of the three games you've been a season ticket holder, there's been weather delays, and there's only
Yes.
been six weather delays in Clemson's history. Two of them are as you as a season ticket holder.
I am the farthest person from believing in like curses slash what's the word that I'm looking for? Um,
Like superstitions.
I'm not superstitious, but I can't help but feel that this season is snake bit. Like LSU game was so fun, had a blast. Offense couldn't get going. I'm not really surprised by that. Like we've had openers where we've struggled before, but Troy, and then there's a 2 hour weather delay, and then we get back to Syracuse. Granted, Syracuse has always given us some kind of battle at home, but then the delay on top of that, like it's the most frustrating thing. Um, to spend my whole Saturday like driving down 2 hours from Charlotte and then having to wait in a concourse for 2 hours and then back to back. On top of that, like it's bizarre. I'm still gonna go to every single game. Don't get me wrong. I paid a good amount of money and I love the college that I went to. But it's so frustrating to drive and spend my Saturday and then watch that performance and then sit in a concourse for 2 hours in the middle of it. I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely understand the pain from almost 1,000 miles away. Yeah, I don't know. Even before the weather delay, I don't know. That was probably the most embarrassing loss in the Sweeney era, maybe outside of Duke in 23.
It's hard because you can't really pinpoint who it's on because I think everyone's at fault. Like normally you can say clearly like last year, like this is a Wes Goodwin issue. Our players can't tackle. We're taking Sammy Brown, our best linebacker at the time, out of the game when we have a rushing quarterback. No one looks inspired outside of like Will Helt, Wade Woodaz, and Sammy Brown at times. No one really looks inspired. Like TJ Parker was all the buzz last year. What has he done this year? He got his first sack in week 4.
Yeah, when the
That's
game didn't even matter.
when the game was over. That's inexcusable. And you have a senior quarterback who was you have the media for Arch Manning, but like real sharks are high on Cade Klubnik. And what has he done this year? And then you have the receiving core of Clemson of old is coming back. Like we have our T Higgins, we have our um, just receiving. Like, we're deep again. We have Brian Lesko, we have T.J. Moore, we have a transfer, we have Tristan Smith, we have um, Adam Randall at running back, and we have Tyler Brown coming back from injury. And really, no one looks like they want to win the game, and it's just so frustrating. And I don't know what to do at this point. I mean, unfortunately, I've had to like temper my expectations by a large amount. Um, which I don't like to do, and that's the frustrating thing. I'm going on a tangent here, but it's frustrating this last year with not just football but all of Clemson sports because you go into the season with all of these expectations with basketball and baseball, and you're like, we're going to be in the top 8 for potentially the big 3 this year, and we fail in every area, and it's so frustrating. I wish that it was just like we know what we're getting into and we expect an 8-4 season or a 7-5 season. But it's hard. It's that much harder when you expect like a 10-2 or an 11-1, and then everyone looks flat.
Yeah,
I don't know what to say
I
past
think you
that.
hit the nail on the head. I think, like you said, last year it was clear the defense was the problem. Obviously, offense had its fair issues, but in most of the games, like the Texas game, that was a defensive problem. Like we couldn't stop the run. In the
Yeah.
South Carolina game, couldn't stop Lenore Sellers. And like the only Clemson sport that I have like expectations for is football. And I mean, basketball is fun, but you retool a roster, so you really don't know what you're getting into. And obviously, baseball is the same thing with the portal. And I thought the floor was with this team was going to be 9-3. The floor for this team could be 4-8, maybe worse.
It should have been 9-3. Like
Yeah,
there's no excuse. The team lost 2 starters from last year and brought in 2 all-star transfers. One all-star transfer and one like potential guy. What's the excuse? Like
yeah. I don't know. I think Will Helt's the best player on the defense right now.
he's the only guy who looks like he wants to win right
I thought him and Jaheim Lawson played really well.
now. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
secondary is atrocious. And you have quote unquote 2 future NFL players at corner and Terrell and Hampton. Hampton's getting picked on. And then on offense, this offensive line's been together for most of them for 3 years. No push. I mean, we ran the ball pretty well, but Klubnik is a step behind on everything. And in his post game comments, I'm done. I'm off of Cade Klubnik. I think he's a
I,
great
w- I,
guy.
I wish they didn't find them because that gives him an excuse. That's on you. Like that performance is on you.
Yeah, it's
You're
not their
you're a,
fault. You're missing receivers by 4 feet.
you're a senior quarterback and 3-year starter, and you can't read past your first receiver. That's that's bizarre to me.
Yeah, and I
Especially
feel bad.
when you've shown that you're capable of that. It's like, what did you do from the months of January to August? That's my question.
Yeah, I think most of it, last year he heard how bad he was, and this year it was like, oh, he's gonna be the number 1 overall pick and all that. But I think what we saw in the Texas game was we had to play from behind most of the game, so he was just playing loose.
Yeah.
But when you see him this year, it's like he's scared to do anything because he doesn't want to make a mistake. I think what Clemson needs to do going forward is just play quicker and let him think less. And I don't know, there's just no identity on this offense either. Um, and all the key guys on defense, Peter Woods, T.J. Parker have been no shows. Um, I mean, I don't know what it is. It looks like the team has quit.
Yeah.
And
And
I don't.
it's so frustrating. Um, because when you have everyone returning, you expect the bar to be raised and everyone to just continue the momentum where it was and build on that. But I feel like at this point, everyone's checked out, whether they're looking to the league or to the portal. I don't know. I I don't know if, like I said, like it's hard to even blame anyone because everyone looks like they're at fault. It's
Yeah,
a
I
coaching
think.
issue. It's a player issue. Like what?
I mean, when you look at this team from in August, it's probably a top 5 roster in the sport.
Yeah.
And now, I don't know. I mean,
I mean, I don't. If anyone's still listening to this rant, like you and me are the last two to critique Clemson. We are defenders until the end. But at this point, like, I can't defend anybody.
no, that's the worst part is because there's not one singular issue. I tried to hold my tongue. See, losing LSU, that's reasonable. Losing to Georgia Tech, sure.
Yeah. Like
But
small. That's what I don't understand is because in LSU we were in the game. LSU's maybe not what we thought they were after week 1, but they're a good SEC team. There were small mistakes that we could have tweaked and won the game. And then we come out against Troy, put the weather delay to the side. We couldn't get a drive going. And then we let a G5, G6 team light us up on defense and pick their spots. And don't fix anything heading into an ACC conference game against Syracuse, where we know they're like the highest output yards wise. They're not the most talented, but they have the most output, so you know what they're going to do. Like their film is there. If UConn can put Syracuse in a situation where they're about to lose, certainly Clemson can do that, and we didn't. And it's just
Yeah,
like,
I think I think the hardest thing to realize as a two Clemson grads coming in on, we came in right during the magical run. I mean, our freshman year we went 14-1, and before that won 29 straight games. There's just no mystique to Clemson anymore. I don't think anyone fears Clemson anymore, and they shouldn't. Clemson's just another average team now, and it falls on Sweeney. And I try to be careful what I say about Sweeney. He's been the coach since we were 8 years old. I mean, growing up, it was all Sweeney, Sweeney, Sweeney. But it just shows you when you neglect the portal from 21, 22, 23, 24, and now 25, you've built all for this year, and it's gone. I watched his presser today from Saturday, gave me a couple of days, and you can kind of tell. I mean, he's down. I think he kind of realizes, it does fall all on him. He said that. But when you just neglect certain spots for 4 years thinking guys are going to develop and they don't, this is what happens.
yeah. And that's the frustrating part, is because I know a lot of these guys are still going to play on Sundays. Like,
Yeah, I mean, Peter Woods is still going to be a first-round pick. TJ Parker's
Peter Woods,
probably still going to be a first-round
they're
pick.
still going to go in the first round, and they look like they could care less at this
I
point.
think the best thing to happen for this team and program right now is you have certain players redshirt and transfer out. I hate saying that, but I think that you're just going to have to clean out house a little bit, and obviously that would stink. I think I think maybe you'll see a number of players do that. I'm not sure, but I don't see some of these guys are super talented. I don't think they're going to want to waste a year. That's just my opinion. I don't know anything about it.
So 4 games in, redshirt process. Do players initiate that, or is it the team?
Well, if players want to leave, they have to self redshirt. So I could see. I
You
don't
could
know.
see
I don't want to
Drummond.
say names. I just think you could see certain. I don't want to say the star players, but key guys say, "Hey, I'm gonna redshirt and head out."
Yeah. I mean, that's like the first time we saw some like high highs and low lows when we were in college at Clemson. But that was probably the first time that I seen Dabo like actually defeated after a game.
Yeah, I think 21. That was a rough start, but that team was so senior led, and they kind of galvanized and found a way to go 10-3. Then 20, and then in 23, I mean, we were 4-4. They found a way. I think there's just no hope on this. I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know. I think it can get much worse. I mean, you look at the schedule. I don't see a guaranteed win there. Maybe Furman.
UNC should be a win.
I mean, who knows? I don't even know what the roster is going to look like at that point.
I
Like
don't know.
at this point, I don't know why Chris Fazina may be really out, like really not really behind. If you're not even want to give him a look, that's what I would do.
That's what I was thinking during like the third and fourth quarter of like, okay, yes, we scored some touchdowns in the third and fourth, but we were still going 3-and-out. The defense was giving us opportunity to score the
We had a
points.
chance to win the game, or at
Yeah,
least make it one possession.
with 8 minutes left, 6 minutes left, and then we like even with 3 minutes left, we had another 3-and-out and have the ball back. We would have to get an onside, but we still have somewhat of a chance. And you still trot out the guy who can't get a rhythm. And it's like, is it because we're trying to be loyal like we have been in the past, or is it because we really don't have faith in the number 2 guy? I don't know.
I think
It's I I know we were active on like the the insider readings and stuff, and they say Vizina's taken a big step. But like he's a year 3 guy. Was he a 5-star out of high school?
He was a 4-star, but he was like 17 when he graduated. So like he's what now 20? Like he's still pretty young. My thing is like at least if you play Vizina, there's an identity to the offense. You're gonna be a power run team. There's no identity with Cade. We want to throw the ball 40 times, 50 times. We threw it 60 times. The last time we threw for like 60 times, I think that was Cade's first start against Tennessee. That's not a winning formula. And I get it. We were down multiple possessions. You can't really run the ball. But your best player on offense right now to this point has been Adam Randall.
Yeah, and it's like even with passing the ball right now, it's Wesco or bust.
Yeah, TJ Moore's been non-existent. He looks like he doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, we saw what happened in the Texas game. Like TJ Moore was wide open. Is it a effort issue, or is it a we can't get past the first read? I don't know.
Yeah,
It's beyond me at this point. I don't know what else to say.
it'll be interesting to see after this year.
Like
I think there's going to be a lot of drastic staff changes. I think some guys that you're not really thinking about being on the can could be canned.
I think with the bye week, that was going to have a lot of time to sit and think about decisions that he's made hiring wise over the last 5 years, and maybe make some tough decisions. I don't know that those will come in the season. Sounds like they might. I don't know. But
At this point, obviously very, very biased. I want some change. I don't know, preferably on the offensive side of the ball. I wouldn't mind if we went 1-11 or whatever, 2-10, and we played Vizina. I could honestly live with that.
we've seen turnarounds in the ACC. Like I don't know.
All right. Well, I guess
I don't think you can move on to next year with even 50% of what you have staff.
No, I think he's gonna.
Now.
I think he's gonna have to load up in the portal.
You have to clear house, or else it's just gonna be bad.
Yeah. Well, I guess we can go on to
that was a good venting session.
Yeah, that'll go dummy. Hopefully on the socials we can post that. I guess we can talk about another fellow ACC team that fell in the short end of the stick here on Saturday. SMU TCU, last iron skillet. It was back and forth for a little bit, and then TCU kind of found a way in the fourth quarter. I don't know how much you got to watch just because it was the same time, but
concourse view, like having to be delegated to the concourse was not fun. But the good thing about it is I was able to pull up some YouTube TV and watch multi-view, so I was able to at least watch some of the game, and I was following it throughout, briefly throughout the game. Even though SMU brought it back, took the lead at one point, I felt like TCU was in control the whole time. I don't think SMU is what they were, but I still think they're a good team. I think that TCU really is just a solid Big 12 team. We'll get to another Big 12 team that I think is really solidified in the picture later in the show. But I think TCU is, you'd be remiss to say they're not in the top 3 right now. Josh Hoover, Bryles, and Sonny Dykes really have something going with that offense right now. They're just a good unit, a good team, cohesive, that can go down but still come back together and use the guys that they have built up or portaled in. I'm high on TCU. I don't know if they're a playoff team just yet, but I think that they're going to be very good down the stretch and probably be in Dallas.
Yeah, as someone who had TCU plus 1175 to win the league, this was promising. I agree with what you said. The game, I know SMU came back and took the lead, but it never felt like SMU was going to win the game. Honestly, Hoover didn't really even play that well, and they still win by 11. I think it's very scary for the Big 12. Kevin Jennings played really well. Their offense, I like Rhett Lashley. He seems really nice. Went to his post-game presser, seemed like a good guy. They don't really help Jennings out at all. in the past game. Like it's basically him dancing around. Um, I mean, they ran for 116 yards, 3.5 a carry, which is just not great. I mean, TCU loaded up at the defense line. I was really impressed with TCU's defense. I mean, it's back-to-back games I've been to TCU, and last year the defense was the problem. They fixed that up, and this is where Sweeney could learn a thing or two. I'm not comparing the two, but Sonny Dykes had a rough year after the national championship appearance. They loaded up in the portal in 24, got Eric McAllister from Boise State, who may be a top 5 receiver in the country right now. And he's from Boise State. He had, I think, 254 yards, basically off 3 catches. I mean, he was killing SMU. And then their ground game's very improved from last year. I love their running backs. Barnes was out, and they still got production. I'm not much better with 3.7 yards a carry, but they ran it 37 times. I don't remember the last time I saw TCU run it 37 times. But it was fun. I think SMU could still compete in the league, in the ACC. But I mean, it was a good game. I hate that rivalry is not being played anymore. I think it's a shame on both sides. It's a fun rivalry. It was a fun game. Atmosphere was cool. The schools do not like each other one bit. But yeah, I came away. I think TCU's definitely in that top tier. They got a big game on Friday, but I think we could easily see them play in Arlington and potentially host a playoff game. You never know.
Yeah, I think that's the message of this season. Going in, everyone was high on the quarterbacks, but the teams that are really going to separate themselves are who can win, who can control a game when the quarterback's not doing the best. I think those are the teams that are going to go far, and the teams that really will show their mettle down the ladder of the season. Like you said, Josh Hoover didn't have his best performance. Kelvin Jennings had a good game, but SMU wasn't able to really create an identity that separated the game enough to win. So that's my thoughts there. Is not just for that game, but for the whole season. You saw in the Oklahoma and Auburn game, Mateer didn't have his best game, but he had a defense that was monstrous to rely on. That basically won the game for them.
Yeah. Also, like you said, I mean, Hoover put the ball in danger 4 or 5 times and got lucky he didn't throw a pick. The pick, he underthrew in the back end of the end zone, whatever. But yeah, I like what you said. Complimentary football. But you did mention another game we can talk about, Auburn, Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably one of the better games this weekend.
Yeah. I mean, Venables has that defense operating like a dang machine.
Come back home, Brent. Come back home.
I miss it, but I'm happy for him.
No, he's such an easy guy to root for too.
Yeah, especially all of the conversations prior to the season starting. I don't think it was to the level of Napier where people were like, "You have to win so many games and this job's gone." It was hot. The seat was hot. However, I think that he's really established himself as a head coach and built somewhat of a foundation where you can go back and look at. Venables has done this year one, and now he's building a solid team. You can almost write off already at this point last year because you can just say the injuries were such an issue. And now Oklahoma looks really good, and they don't have an easy schedule, but I'm pretty confident in the results that they'll be able to draw later on in the season with an SEC that is still good but looks somewhat shaky. So
yeah,
we'll see, but really, really solid performance all around from Oklahoma. Not just that game, but throughout the whole season, they looked good again, great against Michigan. Looked good against Auburn, especially in a game where you're playing your former quarterback. Lots to prove there. I think they did really well.
Yeah, I love me some Venables. I have a quick Venables story.
Go ahead.
In 2021, I was working with the Clemson communications staff, and part of my thing was I got to tell brief coaches. I told Venables something before he went on, I was like, "Hey, coach, you have the number one red zone defense." He's like, "Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that." The following week, I think we beat UConn 44-7, and he was like, "Yeah, I had someone tell me before my presser on Monday or Tuesday we have the number one scoring defense." And he was like, "I take no time looking at the stats," and I was like, "Dang it." He's like he didn't care what I had to say, but Venables, I think he's done it the right way. I mean, you saw he went out, got a good offense coordinator, got maybe the best quarterback in the country. Um, they play hard. I mean, that defense is insane. Our Mason Thomas jumping on Jackson Arnold for the sack was violent. I mean, they had 10 sacks. I mean, you're not going to see that. And also, credit to Oklahoma for covering on the safety. That was awesome. Um, but I also was impressed with Auburn. I think they're going to be better. Arnold played better than I thought. He just holds on to the ball too long.
Hmm.
And he has weapons on weapons at Auburn, but it was low scoring. I felt like it had potential for shootout, but the way the game was going, it was going to be a rock fight. And I'm really happy for Brent. You can tell he loves Oklahoma, and those guys play really hard for him. I think Auburn's got another tough game this week against A&M, but I think I was listening to Annie and Ari, and I don't know, maybe it was Cover Three, and they said you don't have to worry about Auburn, losing the season. And I think that's a good point. They at least have proof of concept that they can compete with the upper echelon. But I'll ask you this: where do you see Oklahoma in the SEC picture? I know you kind of mentioned they can make a little run. Where do you think their ceiling is in the league?
I'm still high on Texas A&M as a dark horse. Obviously, I'm waiting to see what Texas will be. I think Georgia will establish themselves just based on tradition and past record, what they showed against Tennessee alone. I think Oklahoma, like if they can win 9 games, they may not make it to Atlanta, but they're going to be in the playoff. I think, but I do think they can make it to the SEC championship. Their schedule is hard as frick. Don't get me wrong, but who else has shown what they have at this point?
Yeah, I think Georgia's probably the only team you could say that has proof of concept.
Yeah, like
Um,
they've been through battles which a lot of teams can't say that they have, and I'm the type of person to take a battle tested team in week 6, 7, 8 against a team that's played cupcakes and no shows throughout at that point. Like I think Oklahoma's a viable contender.
yeah, my only worry with Oklahoma is if Mateer takes a bunch of hits and gets hurt.
Yeah.
That's my only worry with them. I think they have all the pieces to. Um, I like the
On top of that,
receivers.
yeah, the receivers are good. They do need to figure out the running situation.
Yeah, I think Jaden Knott has to be. Yeah, he's still hurt.
He's
I
got
don't
to
think he
be
even played.
injured or he's checked out or whatever it is, because the only rusher they're doing or running is Mateer, and that's not sustainable, like you said. So if they can find a running back, whether that be Ott or who's their other guy that
It's
they're running
like
right now,
Blaylock.
Blaylock, yeah, if they can establish him to some degree to just diversify the offensive spread, I think that would be beneficial. Because a lot of these defenses in the SEC are going to show they're going to make Mateer pass the ball, and then at some point that's going to catch up to him, or they're going to bring pressure that he can't handle at some point.
Yeah, I
So
like
yeah,
Isaiah Segtagna on Oklahoma. I like him. Deion Burks is good, and then Jaron Canick was a Clemson commit. He's now he was Venables' guy playing linebacker. They converted him to tight end this year. He had 4 catches. Good for him.
yeah,
Yeah, I like what you said. I think Oklahoma. It's weird seeing Oklahoma win these lower scoring games because when I think Oklahoma, obviously high powered offenses, all that stuff, and that's kind of gone out the window. They may have a mixture of both this year.
hmm
Um, but how about Michigan, Nebraska? Did you catch any of that?
not too much. I expected Michigan to kind of edge out this one. I think Nebraska is just they're kind of stuck in a plateau. I think they need either like an all-star in the receiver range or find a like strong identity in defense. Matt Rule's a great coach, college coach. But Michigan, I think with what they have established in Underwood and the momentum they carried in from the end of last season, they're going to keep going against those like second and third tier of Big Ten teams. I don't think they're going to be rock stars in the Big Ten by any means, but they're established for right now this season as like a solid second tier team. And then next year they're going to be a problem.
Yeah, I think obviously when you look at these quarterback stat lines, Raiola quote unquote had the better game, but if you take away the Hail Mary,
Yeah.
he really played pretty pedestrian. I thought Bryce Underwood looked good, but that Michigan run game, if you can average 8.7 yards per carry, I think you'll win a lot of games. Um, and I think Nebraska has all the pieces on offense. I think it's just Dylan Raiola is just not a good quarterback right now. He does too much.
Yeah.
But Michigan gashed them.
Yeah. I think he's trying to be the hero too much right now.
He tries to be Mahomes. I know everyone says it, but it's true. I mean, he literally tries to do everything. And you watch Mahomes last night. It's and you try to watch Raiola on Saturday. It looks pretty similar. But I think Nebraska's problem is they're just not physical enough up front yet. But Rule hasn't beaten a ranked team since he was at Temple. So he didn't beat in a ranked team at Baylor.
Are you serious?
That's what I heard on a podcast. So I don't know.
That's
But
crazy. That is crazy.
yeah, I feel for Nebraska fans. I don't think they've had a ranked win since 2016. But also, if you're Nebraska fans, you really think you're going to win the league.
No, I don't think they had that expectation.
I think they have playoff expectations, but they got gashed by Cincinnati too.
Yeah, I think for them, their hope was to slide in as like the third or fourth Big Ten team.
Raiola got sacked 7 times.
I mean, if they can somehow beat USC, they could be a playoff team. But USC is looking good.
USC has looked really good.
I expected this to be a rebuild year, but they look not like a finished product, but they look good.
Yeah. I guess speaking of USC, did you get to see an Illinois-Indiana game? I turned it off midway through the second quarter.
Yeah, so
I had Illinois, dude. I had Illinois plus 6.5. I thought it was a lock. I was like, "There's no way."
I was confident they were going to win the game. I put the money line on that game. Just because you have, I think I'm undervaluing. I'm not anymore, but I was undervaluing what Indiana had with their prior talent and what they brought in.
Oh, they're much better than last year.
They're much better. Yeah. I trusted the Illinois returning talent, which, I mean, I guess I trusted the Clemson returning talent as well. So maybe that's
Yeah, I think returning production after this year may be a null point. Yeah, I think that's a good point. Yeah, that game was over quick. I mean, they blocked the punt. Illinois scored, and then other than that, it was over. I mean, it was 28-7 at half or something like that. It was something crazy.
Yeah, so I was driving back from the Clemson game. We stopped in Hendersonville to get a marketplace pickup for our house, and then I got.
So you went like 26.
26. Yeah, it was a beautiful drive. Great drive, and then got a chair for our house. And then got back for like the third and fourth quarter of like the tail end of the 8 p.m. games. And I just watched Indiana. They were styling on
Dude,
Illinois.
Indiana's good. Indiana's good.
Yeah, like
I don't think they're like a. I don't see them competing.
It may not be time yet to have a conversation about Indiana, but we're getting close. Like they looked established.
Stand by. When do they play?
Ohio State. I think they play Oregon soon.
Yeah, play Oregon October 11th.
They catch Oregon after Penn State, right?
2 weeks after.
Okay, so Oregon will be ready.
Yeah, I don't know if they're ready to compete with Oregon, but I could see them.
They're not. They're gonna blow the brakes off of Iowa this week. And then they catch Oregon off the bye. So we'll see.
Yeah, I was very wrong. That was probably one of the worst bets I've ever placed in my life. Like, it was not even close.
We were looking at it based off of narratives. We were on the right side, but Indiana Kurt Cignetti's got something going. I'm not a huge Kurt fan,
I'm
but
not either. I think he's kind of brash, but you kind of have to be if you're going to take that job.
yeah, yeah. I mean, he's got like no emotion on the sideline, but he's running a tight ship, and they're ready to go. And that's just crazy to see someone take over a program that's just historically horrible, and then turn it into something like a well-oiled machine like
Power of the portal.
Indiana. It's power of the portal, and I think that's something. That's the new narrative. Is not just can you get portal guys, but can you get portal guys young in tenure who you can still develop?
It's like what we do in the game. You just get a bunch of young transfers.
Yeah, it's like you're building your own dynasty. Like, can you get guys who may have been overlooked in high school, fresh, still in their college tenure, and then turn them into really solid players? That's going to be the team that's going to really be who you need to look out for, and that's Indiana right now.
Yeah, I guess Oregon's kind of done the same thing, but obviously that's a much higher level.
Yeah.
No, Indiana can play with anybody. I'm not saying they can beat anybody, but I think they could take Oregon, 3 quarters, and then I don't know. That game's at Autzen. I don't know. That's a tough place to play.
Yeah.
Mm.
So they have Oregon and Penn State Manning matchups. Those are both away.
But 10-2 still gets you.
10-2. If they go 1-1, they're in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
They're in Indianapolis. Like that's without argument. I think at this point, so they're a team to bookmark.
No, I'm definitely will not disrespect Indiana.
Mm-mm.
Got a comment in the chat here. What are your thoughts on TCU winning the Natty? I don't think TCU can win the national championship, but I think they could be in the playoff. I think national championship, that's just a whole different tier, but I could be wrong. They have the quarterback to do it.
Yeah, they could be in Dallas. Big 12 is wide open as we're looking at it right now. And obviously, if you win that game, you've got a pretty good path. It'll be interesting to see how the seeding works.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Right now. Everything's so wide open right now, so it's hard to say for sure what that will look like.
But think of a better picture in October.
Yeah, TCU is not necessarily a national championship team. However, I do think they can make it to.
I could see them winning a playoff game.
Shoot, if they win the Big 12 and then win a playoff game, they're in the Final Four.
Well, not with the new seeding though. They may not get the top 4 seed.
Right.
Because it'll probably be the SEC runner-up, Big Ten runner-up, SEC champion, Big Ten champion. If we're being honest.
Okay. This is off topic, but can we talk about at this point in the season how much of a robbery it would be? Because I can already see the writing on the wall. Notre Dame wins out, and they're a 5 or a 6 seed. I would lose. I was happy with how, given the resources, the playoff committee seeded the national situation last year. But we can't continue to seed teams based off of the logo on the helmet. And I don't want to see Notre Dame if they went out in the playoff.
Yeah, I don't know. Thing is, like,
I know that it's so presumptuous, and there's still a lot of football left to be played. It's
that defense is just so bad. I don't know if they are going to win out.
Yeah, they don't have anyone left. Like,
I mean, they got Arkansas this week.
Yeah, but
Arkansas's defense is also really bad.
Arkansas's defense is terrible. They have a high-powered offense, so that.
Yeah, their offense is awesome.
I'm taking the over on that game.
Yeah. Did you listen to Andy and Ari today?
I did not yet.
They have similar thinking to you.
Okay. I was listening to PMT.
Yeah. Dude, I will say, the NFL, when you're just a casual fan, is really nice.
That's okay. This is hard for me. But as I've tempered my expectations for my alma mater, Clemson University, it's been really nice because I've just been able to casually view college football. I've been able to really enjoy the NFL. It sucks that I can't. The alternative is what I would prefer, of being all invested in my team. But at this point in the season, I can't be. But it's been nice. Like I get to really enjoy the college football games for what they are, and not look at like what if I play this team in the playoff. That's done for me at this point in the year. Um, I get to enjoy Sundays, so it's nice.
Yeah, I haven't watched a NFL game. Like I'll be honest, I've not watched an NFL game that's not a playoff game from start. Yes, Josh is goaded. Yes, I have not seen. I've not watched a playoff game from start to finish as in a playoff game since maybe 2015.
I'm 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 a student of the NFL this year. My wife is a huge Colts fan, and as a result, we have to get Sunday ticket, and we have
How
to
much is
go.
that? If you don't mind me asking.
Um, it's like 30 a month. It's
That's
not
honestly not
expensive,
terrible
but it's not terrible because we can watch
to get every game,
any NFL game.
and you already
If
have
you
the
have,
Panthers on Fox.
yeah, because if you have a, I think it's probably more if you don't have like the base YouTube TV membership, but that's what we use for like our standard cable. So it's good because we just pay an extra $30 a month and we can watch any game at once. And watching all of the 1 o'clock games transpire this last weekend, and multi-view, and then switch over to like the 4 o'clock games, it was awesome. Because now they added in YouTube TV like you can build your own multi-view. You can't get everything all the time, but you can get most games, which is really nice. So I like the NFL. It's fun to bet on. It's hard, but I hit a plus 550 parlay this weekend,
Oh, is
and
that the one you sent?
hmm I felt like a genius.
That is
Too
nice.
sharp.
I'm proud of you.
Thank
All
you.
right, for our last game, you want to? I guess we can kind of talk Miami, Florida. This game was
Yeah.
pretty boring. I thought Miami, the score, it was never this close. Well, it was 13-7 in the fourth quarter, but Billy Napier,
No, I mean,
they had 147 yards total offense. Let me see if I read that right. 41, sorry.
it's the same exact thing that you saw last week against LSU of like the game and score indicate a lot closer than it actually was. Miami was in the driver's seat all game, and then Florida gets the ball with a chance to win. But you know the result at this point, like with what you've seen from DJ Lagway this year, which is bizarre considering. And it goes back to what I was talking about of we were all high on the quarterbacks. This is going to be the year of the quarterback, and not really anyone that we were high on outside of John Mateer has really delivered. Um, no quarterback's been able to demonstrate the ability to really take the game into their own hands, which is kind of what you think of when you think of a quarterback. But yeah, Miami is a good team. I think they're the favorite to win the ACC at this point. Definitely in the odds, but in my own view as well. I think it'll be, unfortunately, Miami and Florida State and Charlotte this year.
Yeah. I got a
Um,
question in the chat. Am I able to go back and rewatch these lives on y'all's channel? Keep up the good work. Thank you, Micah. Yes, you can go back. These will be just our episodes now. It direct to the consumer. That's what we do. No middleman needed now. So we'll go straight to the YouTube. I should have let y'all know we were live. My apologies. Um, yeah,
yeah,
Florida.
switch to a new platform. The VODs will be uploaded in full. Don't worry, Micah.
Yeah,
Uh,
we already
I
have
think
more viewers than we usually do, so I appreciate it. Um, I don't know what Florida's gonna do with Napier. They have a bye week this week as well, so I don't know if it's too. The defense
I
is really good.
Yeah, I think they'll probably at this point, if you haven't pulled the trigger already, unless they lose to who do they have left?
Yeah,
I mean,
I think
they're
it's
amazing.
Texas, LSU, A&M. I think that's the three.
If they go 0-3, I could see the trigger being pulled. But at this point, okay, if they lose to Kentucky, I think he's done.
They're not. He's gonna get fired at the end of the year anyway.
He's done. At at the end of the season, he's done. Um, but I don't see any moves being made this year, like within the season, unless they lose to Kentucky. Like as disciples of On Three and Andy and Ari, they discuss this as well. As Billy Napier stands currently, like he was given the option before the season started when he got extended last year of you're going to hire an OC and a play caller who's going to take that responsibility off of you. Then he got the momentum when he beat Ole Miss and he beat LSU last year, and he said, "No, I'm not going to do that." But now that he chose not to do that and has lost really, really poorly to Miami last week, and then LSU the week before, and USF, he's gone. Like,
No, he's cooked.
they rolled out the red carpet for him to get another year at least, and he chose to go another way. Bet on himself, which I respect, but he's done.
Yeah, it's sad, but Florida's too good of a job to be consistently mediocre. I mean, they made the SC championship game in 20. COVID doesn't count. And then before that it was 16. And then, I mean, when was the last time you were like, I don't want to play Florida? It's been a while. But yeah, I'm hoping the coaching cycle gets a little. I mean, we already have Virginia Tech and UCLA open, but I'm hoping a big time job comes open soon, and we can have some more content.
Yeah, there's some. I could see Fran Brown in that mix.
I would love some Fran Brown. I like him.
That would be exciting.
Georgia connection too. He can recruit.
I could see Summerall in that mix.
Yeah, I think Jed Fish, Florida grad, over at Washington. I don't know. I don't know why they haven't pulled the trigger. At least maybe internally they're like, we don't want this to bottom out on us.
I don't think they want to lose their roster because that's what's going to happen. As soon as you fire Napier, half that roster is going to transfer out, which I respect. I respect that he has the locker room, but it's just weird. It's almost like Clemson at this point of like the team committed to that coach, but they're not playing like they committed to that coach, which is really weird.
Yeah, I think the defense is playing well. It's just tough. That's a tough offense to watch.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Lagway. I don't know if the injuries are still.
He's seeing ghost.
Yeah.
Well, anything else you want to add?
Should we talk? Nothing for Florida, Miami. Should we talk Tech versus Utah?
Yeah.
Not too much to talk there. I think
the question is, who's going to be the starting quarterback at Tech now?
Did they pull their starter? I missed that.
Starter got hurt.
Okay.
And Will Hammond came in and like lit the world on fire. He's a Mormon.
Really?
Yeah, so he's from Texas. Played in the mothership of Mormonism and dominated.
He's a BYU transfer?
No, he's just like a Mormon.
Okay. What's his name?
Will Hammond. I was impressed with Tech's receivers. Douglas, Carter was good. Virgil was good. Carter's the little tight end they got from Louisiana. He's a good player. Utah, I don't know. I don't want to overreact based on Utah, but I still think they're still in that conversation in the Big 12. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know if they have the offense to keep track with like a TCU or obviously a Tech. But that game was closer than 34-10.
It was. The interesting thing is, I think we rate TCU highly in the Big 12, but Utah does not have them. So I don't know if Utah's going to get a chance to get back into the picture.
I mean, if they went out,
they could. But TCU's got a pretty favorable schedule in the Big 12. They have Arizona State and Colorado and Kansas State, Baylor for the next 4 games. Add West Virginia to that. They play Iowa State and TCU in the latter half of the season, which is tough. But that was a big game for the Big 12, and I don't think that it got all the coverage that it necessarily should have. So I think Utah's still a good team, but I think Texas Tech, at this point, you have to almost crown them as contenders.
Yeah, I think Tech's roster, I mean, they're kind of the experiment right now. If you can buy a roster in one offseason, and yes, you can do that and be competitive. I thought I was really impressed with Tech. I like Joe McGuire a lot. Thank you for the comment in the chat, Jacob. Thank you. I was really impressed with Tech. It'll be interesting to see if when Morton comes back, who's the starter. Because Will Hammond looked unbelievable. I mean, he came back to go for the Joseph Smith stuff. Probably went to that Temple before. I know they got to play. With Kansas State not being very good, it kind of threw the whole Big 12 up in a loop.
Okay, so they're on a bye this week. Then they have Houston, Kansas.
Houston's been playing better.
Houston's better.
Arizona State and Tempe will be tough.
Yeah. Oklahoma State, dub. Kansas State, dub. BYU, decent team. And then UCF, West Virginia. Like, that schedule's pretty fair.
Yeah, I think I'm hoping for a Tech TCU Big 12 championship game.
Yeah.
That would feed families because those two should play every year.
Yeah. They should. I'm surprised that they don't.
That's the closest Power 4 team Tech is That's the closest team Tech's closest to.
They're closer to TCU than they are to Arizona State.
Mm-hmm. Just shows you how big that border is.
Big state.
Yeah, massive. But yeah, I mean, any questions for you? Yeah, it's been fun. Obviously, I wish the alma mater was playing better, but yeah, hopefully maybe we could. I don't even know. I don't know. There's every game's losable. Maybe outside of Furman now.
Yeah, I just hope.
Okay, which game on this week's slate are y'all most excited for? Juicy slate, heart, blush emoji. Georgia, Alabama, Oregon, Penn State.
Yeah, I think
Oregon, Penn State, because
Oregon
both
Penn State is going to be the go-to. Let me take a deeper dive though.
LSU, Ole Miss will be good.
Yeah, especially with the news that Whit Weeks is dating Landry Kiffin.
Yeah. Okay. So how old is Whit Weeks?
Let's see.
He's got to be older. Okay, he's 20. He's 20. Okay. He's way younger than I thought. Or way older. Yeah, way younger than I thought.
He's a junior. He's young. I did not know he was only 20.
Yeah, that's an interesting post. I'm sure Lane Kiffin. Oh, Lane Kiffin, another name. I think he'd go to Florida. Honestly.
Yeah.
Florida, he's reached his ceiling at Ole Miss. Yes, Kiffin versus. Yeah, I'll take Lane Kiffin over Brian Kelly any day. I don't like Brian Kelly. I want to say it's at Ole Miss. What's the realistic outlook for the season? Oh gosh. All right, so we did cover this at the beginning of the show. I guess we'll go right in. Realistic outlook for Clemson. Legit could go 2-10. Is Dabo at risk? No, I think the buyout's too much. I hope he starts utilizing the portal.
I think ceiling is 8-4.
I don't even know. I don't know if we can go 8-4.
That's like we've figured this out right now. That's ceiling. Floor is 2-10.
I think ceiling is 6-6.
And I wouldn't be surprised by any outcome at this point. I don't think it's necessarily a head coach issue. I think it's a head coach issue and tendencies that have been made and choices that have been made in the past, but I don't think it's a head coaching issue and with the day-to-day decisions at this point.
I think it's just neglecting the portal for 4 years, missing on quarterbacks. Like, honestly, DJ was better than DJ was say what you want about DJ. Say what you want. The worst season we had with DJ, we lost 3 games. I think Cade is 15-12 against Power 5 competition.
I mean, DJ had half of the receivers that Cade has now, and the output is drastically different.
Yeah, but granted, we did have a really healthy Will Shipley.
We had a really good running game at that point, but still, like, that's on Cade at that point.
Cade, I'm.
You can look at the all 22 and see receivers open all game long in all of these games.
Dude, it's mind-boggling. And he takes on the 4th down to Antonio Williams, he took 3 extra steps.
Yeah, say what you want about DJ, but he threw it to the right guy. Was it a good pass all the time?
No.
No. But he threw it to the right guy.
My only knock on DJ, I was a DJ believer. And then the South Carolina game happened, went 8 for 29. I think I talked about it in your speech in my speech at your wedding. It's just ingrained in my mind. That's when I lost him. I was like, dude, I'm done. I'm done with you. But now with Cade, it's like I'm tired of defending it. I've been defending it for 3 years, so this is where it stops. and I want to see Chris Rosina. I don't like. Who cares? Who cares if we go to a bowl game this year? What does it have to do? We're gonna lose half the roster anyway.
I think Dabo's only like hesitation is like, what if I'm killing this guy's NFL stock? But
Who cares?
What has he done for you at this point? Like
He
we didn't get into the
Klubnik.
playoff on our own merit last year. That
If
was not
Klubnik
like
played his ceiling, I don't know even if he's just not an NFL quarterback on measurables, arm strength. He's tiny.
yeah.
He's not really like he's mobile, but he's not. He's just not big enough to run a guy. I like Randall if the O line is performing well. The only finger to point. O line's been okay. Thing is, I would say fired. It is a Garrett Riley Cade issue because Garrett Riley's been the QB coach for 3 years.
Yeah.
So O line has its moments. O line has its moments.
Yeah. This is the thing is I think the O line they're not playing to their best for sure, but it's so inconsistent of what we're running play wise where it's hard for them to really get in the rhythm of like when we're passing the ball, the defense does that before the play's even called. So the line on defense and the linebackers know what to run, they know what to cover. So it's hard for the offensive line to really even get like a solid pass block. And then we run it when we do run it, we break away with like pretty solid runs, but we're so inconsistent with it that we don't have any like diversity in the play calling scheme. So that's why I think it's a Riley issue. It's a Klubnik issue of you've got to be able to take hold of the situation and really take control of the game, and we don't show that. But Randall, I'm happy with what I've seen from Randall. I feel bad for guys like Adam Randall, Will Helt, who show the want to in the winning aspect of the game when 20 other guys on the field look like they could care less.
Yeah, I think granted we did get game scripted out of running the ball, but we threw the ball 60 times. So like everyone's like, oh, Cade played well. Yeah, if I threw the ball 60 times in college, I'd look good too. Steve Angeli looked like freaking prime Joe Burrow in the first half.
Yeah.
To borrow a Saban quote, we couldn't stop crap through a tin horn. I mean, God, it was so bad. It was so bad. It was so bad. I did a good job of controlling that the first part of the show. Now, it was bad. It was inexcusable. It was the worst loss I've ever seen as a Clemson fan. It was worse than 2013 Florida State because at least that team won a national championship. It was worse than. It was worse. It was on par with last year at Louisville. And then to think further, I mean the Orange Bowl, but at least we're playing in the Orange Bowl when we lost 70-33. It's just. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. It's really bad.
I don't to kind of tie this off in a bow. I don't know what the expectation is. I don't have any for the rest of the season. I could see very much 8-4 as much as I could see 2-10.
Yeah.
And it's moving forward. It's what we decide to do with that. Because if we keep up the same decision making, the program might be dead.
Like I said, the mystique is gone. The aura is gone. No one fears playing Clemson anymore. We're just another ACC team now. And until Sweeney has is it fair to say the ACC has gotten better in the middle? I think it is fair to say that. Like Syracuse is better, but there's not a world that where Syracuse should come into Clemson and beat Clemson by 2 possessions. I don't care if Syracuse was ranked. I don't care about any of that. That should never happen. Like this is not Clemson is a top tier, will always be a top tier program, hopefully in the ACC. It wasn't in Florida State that did that. It wasn't in Miami. It was freaking Syracuse, a team from up north.
Yeah,
it was embarrassing.
It's not a novel addition to the ACC this year that you have ACC talent spread across the conference. That's always been the case. Like you look at 2015 UNC, you have NFL guys on the entire field, and you stomp them in the ACC championship. That's not anything new to the ACC. Yes, it's been down for the last 3 or 4 years talent-wise, but still, given what Clemson has and the brand. Okay, Bryson.
Yeah, Bryson, okay, you've never won anything as a Tennessee fan. You're stuck with Rick Barnes, bro. Anyway, Yeah, this may be a good time to end it if Bryson's gonna be in here.
No,
I
no,
guess
I
what
want to. Go ahead.
Dabo. Okay, no, he's okay. Cool, Bryson. You never won anything in football. Congrats, you beat us in the Orange Bowl that one time. All right, now he's like rage baiting me. He's got me. Crap. All right, I will say. All right, I'm about to get rage baited. This may be a time to end it. Um, guys, this has been a pleasure. Thanks for joining us, Chris. Always a pleasure.
Pleasure,
Um,
pleasure.
yeah, same time next week, or hopefully on Sunday.
Yeah, regular season rec. LOL. This is college football time, boys. We do not talk college basketball.
We'll save basketball for November, December.
Yes.
All right, thank
It
you
was a
everyone for
pleasure.
joining.
Love to
Yes,
chat. It was good. It was therapeutic, as they say.
and I'm ending that. He said, "Who's the next baseball transfer poach?" I'm done. I'm ending it now.